Hello, and welcome to today's show. I am your host, Jay Loner Sr. And before we get started today, why don't we take a second to like, comment, and subscribe so we can get this into the algorithm? It only takes a few seconds, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that being done, let's get into today's topic. Who will survive Bloody Monday in the AFC North? Bloody Monday is January 5th, 2026. The reason why it's Bloody Monday is that's the day after the last regular season game of the NFL season. There will be no Monday night football game that night. So, after the Sunday night game on January 4th, be prepared. It might even happen before those games, that last game. Let's start in Cincinnati with head coach Zach Taylor. Taylor has been the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals since 2019 and has a record of 46 and 42 with two AFC championships and one Super Bowl appearance in 2021. Taylor and the Bengals are 10 and 4 this season with 3 games left on the regular season. Taylor was given a 5-year contract extension in 2022. But there's a little known fact that it was redone later on in 2022 or early 2023. The exact dates are hard to pin down. But the original extension in 2022 would have ended the end of this year. But with the remake of it, it gives them until the end of 2027 season. That does not mean that Zach Taylor is safe from Bloody Monday. That does not, I repeat, that does not mean Zach Taylor is safe from Bloody Monday. As the team continues to struggle on both sides of the ball, and with the franchise quarterback Joe Burrow's concerning comments about not having fun, I would leave it would leave wonder it will leave one not to wonder what changes should be made. Should it be a front office change? Should it be a coaching change? Should it be a clean house situation? Or should they move on from Joe Burrow? Now, people say, why would you move on from Joe Burrow? Get as much as you can before he retires, like Carson Palmer did. Remember, Carson Palmer retired to get away from the Cincinnati Bengals and then unretired to go to Oakland. Didn't help. He was on the last legs of his career from all the damage he took in Cincinnati. But that's neither here nor there. If you're going to stick with Zach Taylor, trade Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is obviously not happy. He's talking about not having fun on a children's game that he's getting paid godly amounts of money. He's going to retire if something doesn't change, people. Next, let's head over to Baltimore. Oh, no, no, no. No, 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 no. I forgot. I have his comments. I have Joe Burrow's comments, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen to what the quarterback had to say.
No, certainly doesn't change my desire to win. If I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for?
If it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? Take heed, Cincinnati. take heed. The next place we're going to go talk to about Baltimore and John Harbaugh. Now everybody's like, Jay, what do you mean? Jay, what do you mean? John Harbaugh, they got Lamar, they got Derrick Henry. It's the Ravens. It's their defense. It's everything that the AFC North is all about. True. But when was the last time they got to an AFC championship game? 2 years ago, they went out and got Derrick Henry, saying that was the missing piece. Just 2 years ago, this is what they said. That was the missing piece. Then Lamar goes down. He comes back and same thing. Can't get past the second round. Is it the quarterback thing? Is it an offensive coordinator thing? Is it time for a head coaching change? Just like it might be for one in Steelers Nation. But before we get there, let's finish talking about John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh has been the coach in Baltimore for 18 seasons. That's the second most in the NFL. Not in the AFC, not in the NFC, but in both conferences. That is the second most seasons tenured by a head coach that are still active. That's only second in the NFL to one Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. Now, both of these situations are still are very eerily similar. Okay, both of these head coaches are very strong, very dominant, very leader of men type people. These are the people that you want as your captain, if you will, of directing your ship, of keeping this franchise in the right direction. John Harbaugh has been to a couple Super Bowls, has won a couple Super Bowls, or won one Super Bowl, or won two. Can't remember which one it is, but he's been to a couple I know of. And I know he has at least one Super Bowl ring. But is it time for a new voice there if they can't figure it out? I don't think so. I think you ride it out, but you change the philosophy. You're no longer the Ravens of old, built on defense and running the ball. You have a dynamic quarterback in Lamar Jackson and the best running back in the game. So you would figure, hey, we should have the number one rushing offense in the league. But time and injuries catch up to everyone. You have to adapt your offense. It can't be straight RPO or dive, veer offenses, pro style offense. You have to do something different. Go with Lamar Jackson. I think the perfect offense for him would be the run and shoot. Who would be able to stop it? Because he is a dual threat. He could get outside the pocket. He could wiggle. He can make you look stupid standing and like you were standing in steel. We have the. I think in Baltimore, it just needs to be a philosophy change and the scheme change on offense. Get away from the pound it, pound it, pound it, pound it in your face. That should still be part of it. But with the you look at the weapons you have on offense. Is Zay Flowers, you have Bateman, you have LaJohntay Wester that's coming along. You your tight end. You know you have a good enough personnel to run the run and shoot offense and be very effective. Coach Harbaugh has the Ravens in second place in the division, and they still have three very tough games coming up. One against the Patriots, then the Packers, which I don't think the Packers game is going to be as tough as it was earlier with Michael Parsons being out. That's a game changer. I think the Packers might even lose this game come Sunday to the Bears, and if they do, then the Packers just are done for the season. And then they finish up against the Steelers. And that could be a game for the division and for the coaches' jobs. Yeah, that's crazy to say. That's very crazy to say. Let's move over to Mike Tomlin now. Mike Tomlin is the longest tenured head coach in the NFL, who have by all means this season gone all in with Aaron Rodgers. This is the most, I could say, open and in your face. It's all or nothing with Mike Tomlin, with this situation in the Steelers. They went with Aaron Rodgers. Mike Tomlin has proven that he could coach anybody and you can be above 500. He's never had a losing season in 18, 19 plus seasons. 19 would be this year. So in 18 plus seasons, he does not have a losing record. He has guaranteed himself not to have one this year. So in 19 seasons of doing your job, you have been above board, never inadequate. Yes, you with Steelers Nation and the pride and the tradition and the history of the Steelers, getting to the playoffs is not enough. Deep playoff runs, if not Super Bowl, is the aspiration and the goals every single year. And for you to come up short is a failure in the Steelers' eyes, Steelers fans and Steeler Nation. If they don't go all in with if they don't get it done this year with Aaron Rodgers, I think there's going to be a change at the head coaching position with Mike Tomlin. And it's going to be a mutual parting of ways. Mike Tomlin could go and get it. He is the one that, if he walks away from the Steelers, could have a job before he hits the parking lot to get in his car. That's how much he is revered and wanted in the NFL. If Mike Tomlin was to say, "I'm done," before that sentence got out of his mouth, his email would be full and his voicemail would be overflowing. Excuse me, I got a little cotton mouth there. I've been talking a lot. Excuse me. The fans in Pittsburgh have been very vocal for the past 3 seasons about wanting a new direction in the head coaching position. If Tomlin can't get the Steelers to the AFC Championship game, not to the divisional round, to the AFC Championship game or further, with the Chiefs being already eliminated and their foes of the Cincinnati Bengals being eliminated also, this is now or never for Mike Tomlin. They have no quarterback for next year. You cannot go into 2026 with Mason Rudolph as your starting quarterback. You might as well turn in your resignation immediately. And speaking of I can see them moving on from Tomlin if they don't get to the AFC Championship game. And I can see them moving on from him the moment that they realize that they're not going to do it. I mean, the moment the game is over, they will say they're parting ways and they've come to a mutual understanding. I think it's already understood between the parties. And what makes me say that is something that former Steeler and future Hall of Famer Ben Roethlisberger had to say. Let's check out what he had to say.
Coach Tomlin. I have a lot of respect for Coach Tomlin. But maybe it's best for him too.
Sure.
Maybe a fresh start for him is what's best. Whether that's in the pros, whether maybe go be Penn State's head coach. You know what he would do in Penn State? He'd probably go win national championships. You don't fire a guy like Coach Tomlin. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's respected. What you do is you come to an understanding and agreement. And it's like, hey, listen, I think it's probably best for both of us. And you don't, because listen, we've had the same head coach and Coach Tomlin. We've had different offensive coordinators, different defensive coordinators, but it's kind of been the same story. We've had a few offensive coordinators now, and the offense looks a lot the same. This looks a lot like Matt Canada's offense. I mean, but it's kind of been the same story. We've had a few offensive coordinators now, and the offense looks a lot the same. This looks a lot like Matt Canada's offense. I mean, in terms of just like, where's this? Where's,
I wanted to reiterate that one point, that it looks a lot like Matt Canada's offense, because it does. Because it does. But I would like to caution the fans of Steeler Nation, be careful what you wish for. Yeah, you might want to change in a new direction. But that change in that new direction might be going the other way. And not the way you want it to go. So you're living here and you want to be here. So if you're living here and you want to change it and you want to go this way and you're trending this way and you want to change the direction, that means common sense to say it would have to go the other way. So that's why I say you have to be careful of what you wish for. Now, moving on to the Browns and head coach Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski has a record of 42-49 in 5 seasons, or 6 seasons with the Cleveland Browns, and a record of 3-11 this year with 3 games left. Those 3 games left, they might win 1 game, and that's against the Bengals because of the situation with Joe Burrow. Even though they said that he was going to play the rest of the year, I think he's just going through the motions and is contractually obligated to, so he can get all his money. Stefanski has a record of 45-60, which is 42% win rate. That's not acceptable anywhere in the NFL. It's borderline acceptable, but it's not acceptable. And in the last 2 seasons, you would be 6-28. That's the same record as Pat Shermer. Twice, and he was fired. I think Kevin Stefanski realizes that he's on his way out, and if you've noticed, for the past 3 weeks, he's been more open and forthcoming in his press conferences. I think that's to show the owners and GMs, other owners and GMs of the league, hey, I can play the game. And he's making it seem like he was handcuffed to do these general, nondescriptive, very vague answers that he's been giving prior. Now he's giving overly. He's being a lot more elaborate in the things that he says and detailed. I didn't grab one of his press conferences to show reference, and that's bad by me. I'm sorry about that. Next time I'll make sure I have that. And then I found out today that Cleveland and the national media are kind of tying Shedeur Sanders' fate to Kevin Stefanski's. But I want to caution everybody there, because if Sanders continues to grow and show improvement over the next 3 games, yes, this last game was a bad game. No excuses. 2 of the interceptions were bad. 2 of them were bad. 1 was on Jerry Jeudy. You can't. I think the movie was The Replacement. His name was Stonehands or something like that. But that is just egregious. Jerry Jeudy is a 3-step. Is all 3 receivers. He's the number 1, number 2, and a number 3. What I mean by number 1, Jerry Jeudy's the number 1, and number 2, and number 3 receiver, is because 1, Jerry Jeudy is getting paid as the number 1 receiver. 2, Jerry's actual production is that of a number 2 receiver. But Jerry is playing as a number 3 receiver would play this season. So, yeah, okay, back to Bloody Monday. Stefanski, I'm surprised he's made it this far, but I'm not surprised, because Jimmy Haslam does not like to rock the boat. during the season unless he has an answer for why he's doing it, a ready answer. And everybody's like, well, you have Jim Schwartz on staff, and he's been a head coach before, and yeah, and that was a failed head coach. So why would you want a failed head coach to take over a failed program? It's just another cycle of failure. That's not saying that Schwartz did not learn his lessons, did not grow from that experience, because hopefully he did, and hopefully everyone would. But that is an assumption. I'm not saying he should not get a second chance at a head coaching job. I do believe he should because of how he can how he's motivated the defense for the last 3 years in Cleveland. But maybe that's his niche. Maybe that's what's best for him. Everybody's not cut out to be the head honcho. Some people are cut out to be the assistant to the head honcho, the vice president, the vice head honcho. You know what I mean? This to do what they're specifically trained and know how to do, and nothing more. See, being a head coach is a lot of bureaucracy and politicking, from players to personnel and owners and front office. And maybe Schwartz isn't good at that. He's good at player personnel, maybe, and getting the most out of his players, definitely. So keeping him at a coordinator position is smart. So I could see why Jimmy Haslam has not released Kevin Stefanski of his obligations as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns at this moment. And the reason why I was stumbling over that, because something popped in my head. It's been reported that Tommy Rees had interviews with a couple college programs in the past couple of weeks. One was West Virginia, the other one I believe was Michigan, or he's the front runner or a favorite, one on the list for the Michigan job. And he's turning them down. The only way I could see him turning those jobs down to run his own program is for two reasons. One, he's not ready, and he knows he's not ready to run a program. To run a program, that's totally different than being an offensive coordinator for an NFL team or even a college team. Running a program is a hefty, hefty job. And two, if that's not the case, he might already have the inside track on being the head coach or remaining the offensive coordinator in Cleveland. So, out of the four coaches, who do you think is more likely to stay? Do you think Zach Taylor in Cincinnati is more likely to stay? John Harbaugh in Baltimore? Mike Tomlin not Cincinnati, I'm sorry, in Pittsburgh? Or Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland? I only have one person really possibly staying. And if it doesn't work out, then all four of them are gone. It could be four brand new head coaches in the AFC North. And that could be very scary. And then they were trying to lump Shador Sanders into this, saying that if Stefanski is gone, Shador will not get another shot in the NFL. How can you say that? You don't know what coach is going to come in and take that spot. You don't know if that coach likes the things that Shador does on tape. You know, you want to keep saying that Shador is a fifth round pick. Okay, he's a fifth round pick, but he doesn't have fifth round talent. He might not have first overall draft pick talent, but he doesn't have 144th talent either. On most big boards, he was anywhere between 50, 15, and 29. So that's still middle to late first round. Overall, that's every position on the field overall. So you can't say that, oh, he's a fifth round draft pick and then use it against them when it benefits you, but use it for you when it goes for you. You can't use it because if he's a 5th round draft pick, he's a 5th round draft pick. Point blank, period. So let's build an offense around him. See, the offense wasn't built around him. I don't think this offense that Cleveland had was built around anyone. There's a mythical quarterback out there in the ethers that's only Kevin Stefanski can identify because he said it wasn't Baker Mayfield. He said it wasn't Deshaun Watson. He said it wasn't Jameis Winston. He said it wasn't 13 other quarterbacks that has gone through there. Josh Dobbs, DTR, Dylan. Well, no, he said it was Dylan Gabriel, but we all knew from our eyes Dylan Gabriel is not that quarterback. Now, I think they should trade Dylan Gabriel to the Miami Dolphins because this is Tua's last year, in my opinion. I don't think Tua's going to come back next year. But that's almost my time, ladies and gentlemen. That's almost 30 minutes. I would like to thank you for coming and spending a half hour with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe and help us get in the algorithms. Please, please, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope to see you again soon. You guys take it easy. Peace and love.